Well folks, it seems the saga of TikTok in America is far from over. The popular video sharing app, beloved by teenagers and influencers alike, is once again facing the chopping block. A federal appeals court has upheld a law that could see TikTok banned in the United States unless it's sold off by early next year. This decision has ignited a firestorm of debate, with concerns about national security, free speech, and the future of online entertainment all thrown into the mix. Buckle up folks, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. This latest ruling is a major blow to TikTok, which has been battling accusations of being a national security threat for years. The United States government's main concern is TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance. They're worried that ByteDance could be forced to hand over American user data to the Chinese government, and let's be honest, no one wants their late-night dance videos or ASMR mukbang sessions ending up on a government server somewhere. Adding more fuel to the fire, this federal decision follows a similar ban in Montana that was put in place earlier this year. It seems like the walls are closing in on TikTok, and the clock is ticking for them to find a solution. The big question now is, will this ban actually happen? Well, that's where things get even more complicated. The United States government is basically playing a high-stakes game of who's got my data with China. Their main concern is that the Chinese government could force ByteDance to hand over information about American TikTok users. This data could include everything from your name and location to your browsing history and even your contacts. Now you might be thinking, John, I'm just an average Joe who posts silly cat videos. Why would the Chinese government care about my data? Well, here's the thing, even seemingly harmless information can be aggregated and analyzed to create detailed profiles of individuals. This information can then be used for all sorts of shady purposes, from targeted propaganda campaigns to even blackmail. And it's not just the feds who are worried. A lot of everyday Americans are also concerned about their privacy. After all, no one wants to feel like they're being spied on, especially by a foreign government. The big problem for TikTok is that they haven't been able to shake off these concerns. They've tried to reassure everyone that American user data is stored securely in the United States, but the doubt still lingers. TikTok isn't taking this lying down. Oh no, they aren't. They're crying foul, claiming this ban is a big old violation of their First Amendment rights. They're arguing that the government is trying to silence them and restrict their freedom of expression. And you know what? They've got a point. Banning an entire platform does seem a tad extreme, even if there are legitimate security concerns. But here's the thing, the government is basically saying, look, we're not trying to be the fun police here. We're just trying to protect our national security. They're arguing that the potential risks posed by TikTok are simply too great to ignore. This whole situation raises a really tricky question. How do we balance free speech with national security? It's a question that's been debated for centuries, and there's no easy answer. On the one hand, we cherish our freedom of expression, and the right to say what we want, even if it's stupid TikTok dances or whatever the kids are doing these days. But on the other hand, we also want to keep our country safe from potential threats. So, what's the solution? Well, that's the million-dollar question. So, what's next for our embattled video sharing app? Well, TikTok isn't backing down without a fight. They're taking this thing all the way to the Supreme Court. That's right, folks, the highest court in the land will now get to weigh in on whether TikTok gets to stay or gets the boot. TikTok is hoping that the Supreme Court will see things their way and overturn the ban. They're arguing that the lower courts got it wrong, and that there's no real evidence to support the claims that they're a national security threat. But let's not forget, the Supreme Court is no stranger to controversial cases. They've got a long history of tackling tough issues, and this one is no different. It's a classic clash between free speech, national security, and the ever-evolving world of technology. The whole world will be watching to see how this plays out.